Major political parties have included the issue of citizenship that had previously reached the president's office in the election agenda. Though the Supreme Court had ordered to formulate laws to issue the citizenship, the parties have failed to even come up with the acts. Good morning, I am Prarambha. Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Government slow to implement federalism, manage public expenses and improve administration, resulting in a disheveled federal state. Raise questions on the government's competency. Major political parties include citizenship issue in the election agenda. Janata Samajwadi Party proposes for directly elected president and chief ministers as a form of governance in their manifesto. Russian President Vladimir Putin signs a law to conscript citizens with outstanding convictions for serious crimes under the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation to be called up for military service. And Bayern Munich moved to the top of the Bundesliga table as Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting hit a brace in a thrilling 3-2 win at Hertha Berlin. When the country decided to implement federalism, it had to dismantle unnecessary hurdles in administrative management. The government has been slow to implement federalism, manage public expenses and improve administration, resulting in a disheveled federal mechanism, raising questions on the government's competencies. A report published by the Special Committee to Study and Monitor Implementation of Federalism had suggested to decrease the federal ministries by 15 and limit the number of provincial ministries to 10% of the provincial members. The report concluded that there was duplication of work between the federal and provincial ministers, resulting in massive labor crunch in provincial and local levels. The committee also recommended to remove the extra ministries with an intention to limit the interference on provincial and local governments. Ahead of the 2017 federal and provincial elections, the Federalism Restructuring Committee, issuing a report, suggested limiting the ministries to 15 in the centre and 7 in provinces. However, the political parties created 25 ministries in the centre and 18 in the provinces. The High-Level Administrative Reform, Execution and Monitoring Committee, held by erstwhile Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli 2 years ago, also directed to cut down on the extra ministries to decrease administrative costs. The committee's dozens of other suggestions, including streamlining responsibilities and monitor public services, which are yet to be implemented. The Public Spending Review Committee, commission was formed to find the irregularities in public expenditure. The commission had also recommended to limit the central ministries to 18, decrease the departments by 50% and dissolve more than 1,000 boards, centers and committees. However, the government has not even made the report public, let alone implementing the recommendations. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. Public Pulse. The question is, why has the government remained indifferent towards reducing the number of ministries and departments? Your options are A, fearing lack of share, B, no intention of working, and C, centralized approach. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, all the major political parties have helmed the government after the promulgation of the Constitution of Nepal 2015. However, all of them have failed to make headway to provide citizenship as ascribed in the Constitution. This issue has become an election agenda for all the parties for the upcoming elections, as in the previous elections, with promises galore. The major political parties have made the citizenship issue an important election agenda. The issue had even reached the president's office. Though the Supreme Court ordered to formulate laws to provide citizenship, the parties failed to even come up with the acts. However, with the election now imminent, CPN-UML in its election manifesto has promised to provide citizenship within a month if their alliance comes to power and resolve all the issues pertaining to citizenship within 6 months. Not only CPN-UML, Nepali Congress has also raised the issue of citizenship, saying that bringing the citizenship bill forth is an accomplishment in itself. The citizenship bill, which was passed by the parliament, was not ratified by the president. Nepali Congress has vowed to resolve this issue. CPN Maoist Center has raised the issue of citizenship as a problem for the people of Madhes and has promised not to let them be stateless. The Supreme Court had stopped erstwhile Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli when he tried to bring the citizenship ordinance. When Nepali Congress presented the same ordinance as a bill, CPN-UML opposed it. With the president not endorsing the ordinance twice, nearly 200,000 people have remained stateless in the country. Now, Janata Samajwadi Party, that has formed an alliance with CPN-UML, has unveiled its election manifesto for the upcoming elections, floating a proposal for a directly elected president and chief minister as a form of governance. Unveiling its election manifesto in Kathmandu, Janata Samajwadi Party has put forward the party's stance of adopting directly elected presidential system and that chief ministers in the provinces as well as public representatives in local levels must be chosen directly by the general public. In its agenda, the party has proposed directly elected prime minister and an exclusive cabinet comprising experts as ministers. The manifesto also iterates the idea of a directly elected federal and provincial system. The party in its agenda has further pledged a system that prevents government officials to reassume post for a third time. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces regarding ways to ensure the participation of disabled people in voting. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice brought to you by 3 गुना बढी टिक छ, दाम ठीक छ, हुलास ग्याल्भोलुम, शक्तिशाली हंसी सिमेन्ट, अब 53 ग्रेड सहित हंसी सिमेन्ट, डिश होम फाइब्रोनेट प्रेजेंट्स मेगाफाई खुशीको अपग्रेड, V-Bond वर्ल्ड क्लास इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफिस चेयर with 4 years warranty, साधारण बल्ब भन्दा उज्यालो, वेगा LED बल्ब, भविष्य उज्यालो छ, NIC एशिया बैंक लिमिटेड, बैंक पनि साथी पनि, राम्रो पनि हाम्रो पनि, पञ्चकन्या TMT फलामे छड, सदैव विश्वासिलो, जगदम्बा सुपर शाइन तथा जगदम्बा गाल्वा प्लस जस्ता पाता, जीवन भर को भरोसा, भविष्य सोचौं स्मार्ट बनाऊ, पानी बचाऊ, पञ्चकन्या स्टेनलेस स्टील ट्याङ्क।
मतदान केन्द्रमा अपाङ्गता मैत्री बनाउनु पर्छ।
त्यसमा त्यहाँ खटिएका व्यक्तिले सहयोग गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
उपयुक्त संरचना तयार गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
आउने जाने व्यवस्थित गरिदिए हुन्थ्यो।
यातायातको व्यवस्था मिलाउनु पर्यो सबैको लागि।
हाम्रो लिपिबाट चाहिँ भोट दिन पाइयो भने चाहिँ हामीलाई अलिकति राम्रो हुन्छ।
सरकारले नै गाडीको व्यवस्था गर्न सक्यो भने राम्रो हुन्छ।
वास्तवमा त्यो अहिले त हामीले त के सहायता लिनुपर्ने हुन्छ।
भित्र पुग्नको लागि चाहिँ व्हीलचेयरको व्यवस्था हुन जरुरी देखिन्छ।
हिँड्न नसक्नेलाई यस्तो भएर हिँड्न नहुनेलाई अब एउटा सुविधा चाहियो।
उमेर पुगेका कुनै पनि नागरिक छुट्न हुँदैन।
अपाङ्ग मैत्री ढङ्गको चाहिँ मतदान केन्द्रले चाहिँ व्यवस्था मिलाउनु पर्यो।
सिधै मतदान स्थलमा गएर मतदान गर्न पाउनु पर्यो।
सहज हिसाबले भोट हाल्ने व्यवस्था चाहिँ निर्वाचन आयोगले गर्नुपर्छ।
कुनै पनि पार्टीले लोभ लालचा देखाउन सक्छ, तर त्यस्तो हुन दिनु भएन।
छुट्टै लाइनमा राखेर सबैभन्दा पहिला मतदान गर्ने।
उहाँहरूले स्वेच्छाले चाहेको व्यक्तिलाई चाहिँ मतदानका लागि उहाँहरूले लैजान मिल्ने वातावरण बनाउनु पर्छ।
अपाङ्गता मैत्री सवारी साधनहरूको व्यवस्था गर्ने।
मतदान केन्द्र चाहिँ अपाङ्गता मैत्री हुनु पर्यो।
लाइन अलग हुनु पर्यो, टेबलहरू उँचा हुनु पर्यो।
सरकारले आवाजावतको लागि सवारी साधनको चाहिँ व्यवस्था गरिदिनु पर्यो।
The real estate market has slowed down amid the failure of the local level to timely classify land. This has affected revenue collection, which is proven by the decline in revenue of about 14.78 billion rupees in the first 3 months of the current fiscal year. The Department of Land Revenue used to witness huge crowds at its offices in the past. However, these days it has remained desolate. Only those with works related to separating property are witnessed at the department, as the real estate market has drastically declined in recent time. Landowners in Lalitpur have been unable to sell land pieces amid Lalitpur Metropolis's failure to classify land. The government, implementing the Land Use Act, had directed all the local levels to classify the lands into cultivable, residential, commercial, industrial and mineral. In the 3 months of the previous fiscal year, almost 7,000 land tracts were traded in Lalitpur, while in the ongoing fiscal year, the number has decreased to just above 2,000. This is a widespread scenario all over the country, as liquidity crunch and delay in land classification has hit the real estate market. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Government slow to implement federalism, manage public expenses and improve administration, resulting in a dissolved federal state, raises question on the government's competencies. Major political parties include citizenship issue in the election agenda. Janata Samajwadi Party proposes for directly elected president and chief ministers as a form of governance in their manifesto. Russian President Vladimir Putin signs a law to conscript citizens with outstanding convictions for serious crimes under the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation to be called up for military service to mobilize. And Bayern Munich moved to the top of the Bundesliga table as Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting hit a brace in a thrilling 3-2 win at Hertha Berlin. So that is all for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.